It all started with her filming herself with her babies having a good time. Then the good time turned to a serious conversation that spiraled into her killing her 2 babies. So, what really happened? Did she do it because she was mentally unstable? Was it to prevent them from being harmed once she's not with them? Or did she do it to punish her ex-husband? Well, let's dive in. This is the story of ELAINE Campione, a mother who drowned her 2 beautiful kids, Serena and Sophia, in 2006 and blamed it all on her husband's endless abuse. Born ELAINE Goodine to her mother Faye in Coles Island, New Brunswick, she's said to have had a normal childhood. She would however spend a lot of time alone reading or watching TV as she grew older. After she was done with college, where she had trained to be a home support worker, she moved to Bradford, Ontario. She was 20 years at the time and worked as a nanny amongst other odd jobs to sustain herself. In 2000, she met Leonardo Campione, and in August 2002, the two got married and moved to a small brick house to start a family. However, their marriage was rocky from the start. He would judge her frequently, call her names, and it even got to a point where she stopped eating. The two were exact opposites. Leo was outgoing, always smiling, while ELAINE was shy and not good at socializing. In short, Leo was an extrovert while she was an introvert. She was insecure about their relationship and was actually convinced that Leo was cheating on her, even though she had no evidence. He insisted that it was not true, but because she was paranoid, she didn't believe him. That was not a safe space to be because she was always insecure. She even started following him just to make sure he was on the job route and wasn't making any stops. But before judging ELAINE, we'd better understand her reasons. Leo, though outgoing, social, kind to the neighbors, was actually abusive towards ELAINE. He would physically and verbally abuse her behind closed doors, and no one knew about it because, as I mentioned earlier, ELAINE kept things to herself. He was a violent person. In 2003, she gave birth to her firstborn daughter Serena, and 2 years later, Sophia was born. Faye loved her grandkids so much. However, during one of her visits, she noticed that ELAINE was detached from her daughters. But this was because ELAINE was dealing with so much at the same time. On one hand, she had these 2 beautiful babies that she loved so much and cared for. And on the other hand, there was Leo, the man who they called their father. A man who hit her in the stomach while she was pregnant both times. In 2005, Leo was charged with assaulting ELAINE and Serena. I mean, who assaults a child? And why would you assault the mother of your kids? His charges included 4 charges of assault, a death threat, and 1 count of bodily harm. He was however released on a $10,000 bond, went back home, and warned ELAINE not to talk to her mom, the only person who actually loved her and cared about her well-being, the one person who helped her get through the situation that she was going through, and he would actually monitor her calls. It was as if the arrest meant nothing to him because he continued to abuse her in every way possible. This made ELAINE flee to a women's shelter with her daughters in 2005. She had bruises all over her body which were actually noticeable. In 2006, she filed for divorce. Leo left the apartment but couldn't stay away from his daughters. He actually wanted full custody, and the battle made ELAINE break down. During the divorce process, she had stated that she wanted sole custody for Serena and Sophia and wanted to move back home with them so they could be happy. However, her request was denied and she was therefore forced to stay in Ontario. You could tell she was so broken-hearted, disappointed, worried. I mean, she was in a roller coaster of bad emotions and felt trapped. Faye actually moved into a house so she could take care of her and the kids. Her mental health had taken a turn for the worst as OCD kicked in. She actually thought that someone was following her, that maybe Leo had asked someone to harm her and take her kids away. While driving, she only took right turns and she never parked next to black cars. She even claimed that she had seen aliens. Her OCD actually affected her kids as well. She didn't allow them to touch anything red because red meant blood, and to her it meant that harm would come to them. When Faye wasn't around, ELAINE would take the kids to Leo's family because his parents lived nearby. Diego, Leo's father, said that one day ELAINE came to his doorstep looking overwhelmed and extremely tired. She couldn't even form sentences. They also looked malnourished. Leo took the girls for the day and told her to check into a psychiatric facility, which she did. She was in an awful state and was diagnosed with psychosis. She confessed that she didn't feel the girls would be safe with her and she might either harm them or herself. During this time, Leo started going for counseling as well for his alcohol abuse and for anger management. He was allowed supervised visits to his daughters who were under his parents' care. Within a few weeks, he was uploaded for trying to change his life. His counselor even thought he was on the right track, and social services saw how the girls were happy whenever they saw their father. ELAINE got out of the hospital after a few days, got a new apartment, and took her daughters back. However, a short while after, she checked back into the hospital, leaving the daughters with Leo's parents again. She actually had suicidal thoughts. By the summer of 2006, Leo was allowed to see his kids without supervision, and in July that same year, ELAINE was declared mentally sound and sent home. She took her kids back again and started to live with them. On August 8th, she recorded this video for Serena's birthday.
Serena, it's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena. Happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today. Yay! What do you think, Sophia? You sing happy birthday? No?
I'm 3.
You're 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the living room and see if you got any birthday presents from the birthday fairies?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
I have to go. I got a present.
What is it?
It's a bike.
How does Mama love you?
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
ELAINE was a mom who loved her kids deeply. She even took them to the playground twice a day, and even though she had gone through abuse, she was applauded for being a parent who always put her kids first and wanted to see them happy. However, a few weeks later, she would drown her babies in a bathtub. Her neighbors saw her organizing a yard sale for baby clothing and kitchenware. When she was asked, she said that she was worried about her court hearing on October 3rd. It was about the custody of the babies, and not having been a stable mom for them for the past few months, she was afraid that Leo might actually be given custody and that she would never see them again. Leo was also determined to take the children away. He was taking advantage of the fact that she had been to a psychiatric institution twice. He was confident that her mental issues would deem her unfit for parenting. ELAINE, on the other hand, just didn't trust that a man who hit her in the stomach twice with both pregnancies was gonna take care of her daughters. Which actually kinda makes sense. On October 2nd, she recorded this video. It was about how hard her life actually was and how Leo had been abusive towards her. She also ranted about how Leo's family had ties with criminal activities, and yet they were given rights over her children just because they had money.
Yes, this is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and in the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse, which wouldn't stop, and I had CAS keep bringing these 2 people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse it was causing my 3-year-old daughter Serena and I and Sophia. It was horrible and uncalled for, and I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me, the assaults he did to my oldest daughter Serena, and they did nothing for us. Instead, they gave him more and more rights. It's just unfair and cruel. And so many women go through this, and it's not fair. We should have been allowed to leave and go home and heal with my family, who, by the way, were foster parents, who have CS clearance, unlike his family, who are immigrants who lie and steal and do everything horrible and associate with very bad criminal people. My family doesn't. My family are all upstanding citizens. But yet, he and his family get all the rights. And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect.
After the video, things took a turn to the worst. She drowned her kids. An hour later, she recorded herself, but this time she was alone. It was a confession of what she had done and why she had done it.
Recording this because Leo and I are very happy. Everything is gone. God, you wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me, telling her I had to sign papers when I didn't. I went to victim witness to get the truth. Trying, begging everyone the truth. How you beat me for 3 years behind closed doors. Beat me when I was pregnant with Serena and Sophia. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You cared about yourself. All you did was hurt us. And you gave Serena an idea that you could actually have my children. God believes me. And God's taking care of them now. You're protected by God, thank God, and thank Him. Because there's no way I could have them with you. You're a hideous monster. The things you used to do to me. I still have horrific nightmares all the time because of you. You're an evil, horrible man. I begged the courts to let me go home where I could be protected by my family. I went through lawyers, fighting. This last lawyer, even with all the papers I showed, telling her, look, you know, he's lying. There's nothing wrong with me mentally, there isn't. I'm scared of you, I'm scared of everything, of your family. Everything you've told me over the years is the truth. And I'm just going to God, because God is the only one who cares and can protect me. Because you are the devil, Leo. You are the psychotic devil. And I should have stayed away from you the first time you beat me when I first met you, when I was, 21, 22. I should have ran away from you far then. At least the girls and I will be together in heaven, protected and safe from you. You can't hurt us, you can't torture us, you can't bother me anymore. You can't sit there and control me. You have me locked into a county where I have no friends, no family. You got it so I couldn't even go see my own parents. Where I need to be with my family, the people who truly love me and have always been there for me. Take my children to be in a nurturing place. Look at the photographs, Leo. My kids were happy. They were happy with me. I was a great mom. I did everything with these kids. I took them to playgroups. I took them everywhere. I did tons of crafts with them. Sang songs with them all the time. Did everything. Everything that CS told me to do. And I begged and begged and begged everyone to help me get out of this province away from you because you and your family are psychotic. And all you guys did was torture me. Anna's sitting there telling me if I didn't give my kids to you, if I won't go back to you, to give the kids to you, that you guys could give them so much more. Anna abused you. Diego abused you as a child, and you know it, Leo, because look at you. Look deep down in you. You know what happened to you as a child. My parents never hit me. They never hurt me. They were always supportive. They were always loving to me. And I miss them terribly, terribly. And I wanted my babies to be with a loving family. And you denied that. You denied everything.
A few minutes later, after overdosing herself with pills, she recorded this video. Now, viewers pointed out the fact that she called Leo the devil when she was the one who ended the lives of their children. She was seen as a hypocrite. ELAINE had planned to take her own life as well and die with her kids, but the plan didn't work. So that's when she decided to call 911. The police found both kids dead in ELAINE's bed, hands interlocked. She dressed them in pajamas and jewelry after drowning them and put toys around them. They also had a rosary placed in between their interlocked hands. Their bodies had started to decompose, suggesting that they had been dead for a while, which was actually a fact because they had been dead for 2 days before she called the authorities. She was arrested on the spot and taken to the police station. Her interrogation was kind of confusing because at times she seemed as though she wasn't sure of what she had done, but then again at times it was as though she was trying not to admit that she knew what she had done. However, the detective on the case was somehow understanding and patient. He did not shout at her or force her to talk. Rather, he gave her time to process the questions and answer as comfortably as possible.
Okay, so you understand that you've been charged with, now you understand that you've been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder?
Yes, I
Okay.
understand what you're saying.
And the charges are for murder in regards to both of your children. Okay. One of the things, and I understand here that you've gone through a lot in your life here, and it sounds like to me your whole world came crashing down. And it doesn't sound like you've got a lot of support. And you know what, truly, I don't understand how anyone in your situation could be able to do that on your own. I really don't. Only you know what was going on inside yourself when this
They were
happened.
my babies.
They're your babies, I know.
Serena was playing in the living room, coloring, doing sign language.
Mhm.
Sophia was having a bath. We were videotaping.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was fine. Listening to music. Same as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's different. They go to bed between 7, 8 o'clock at night, every night.
Mm-hmm.
I kept them in a routine to keep them stable
Mhm.
because of the chaoticness of having to have a babysitter in a day or babysitter at night because he's dragging me into court for this and that. Meanwhile, my daughters are bawling their eyes out because they don't want me to be away from them.
I know you love them. I can tell that. I can see that in your eyes. I don't know, but I'm trying to understand what happened last night, and only you can tell me that.
I don't understand. I don't understand and I don't. The next thing I know is I got people at my house.
Mm-hmm.
A guy with a blue outfit with orange on it in my bedroom. As a police officer telling me something about charges. I'm asking where my daughters are. And they're just looking at me telling me they need to put handcuffs on me. I need to get on a stretcher. And I'm still asking them where my daughters are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all.
Do you remember making the call? There was a phone call you made this morning.
No. That's the thing. The next thing I know is there's people at my door.
Okay. And I'm just going to back up. So what happened last night?
Sophia was having a bath. I was videotaping her for my mother singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star because that's her favorite song.
Mhm.
She sings it every night for my mom.
Right.
And I was doing that and she would start to do backflips and she got a little bit of water in her ear. So I stopped the videotape because she panicked. And then I picked her up. And then that was it. Then I went over to see Serena because she was coloring, asking her to clean up her coloring. She's got to get ready for bed, pick up her pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. And the next thing I remember is these people are in my house.
Okay. You talked about they were in the bath.
Sophia was in the
Sophia was in
bath
the bath.
by
What about
herself.
Serena? Did you ever put Serena in the bathtub?
Serena's always in the bathtub with Serena, but she wasn't in the bathtub with Sophia. She was busy coloring and cleaning up her mess and picking out pajamas.
Mm-hmm. And then why were you videotaping?
To send to my mother,
Okay.
her singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Okay. And had you done any of this videotaping prior to last night?
There's just videotapes, little bits of here and there. There should be birthday
Okay.
tapes. There should be other tapes of the two of them in the tub together. There's lots of different kinds of little bits of tapes
Mm-hmm.
on the video camera.
Okay. At what point did you put the videotape away?
After I went to go give Serena her bath, and she was saying she was going to get ready for bath, I put the video camera in the living room.
Okay. All right. Now, with all this pressure balling up, and you were making a videotape for your mother, any point did you do anything in the bathroom?
Remember, we sing songs. We usually sing ABCs. We usually sing the 5 little duckies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the usual routine that we always take.
Okay.
That's all I remember. So we sing the same songs. We sing, Joy, Joy to the World, all the songs that they love.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same songs they sing over and over and over again.
Where do you think your children are now?
I assume my husband has them.
Hope you understand you've been charged with murder. You understand that both the children, Sophia and Serena, are both deceased. Did they die?
I'm not allowed to speak without an attorney present.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have to say I cannot speak without an attorney present.
Did you kill both of them?
I cannot speak without an attorney present.
Now, when we do the autopsy, what are we going to find? Are we going to find water in the lungs?
I'm not allowed to answer anything without an attorney.
Okay. And I can understand, one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that they did die peacefully? Peacefully? Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you telling me that, because that makes me feel good as a parent and as a person too, that, here we've been talking for a little while here, and when I leave this room, I want to be able to say that you're not this monster, and that it was all this that was on your shoulders. And it's my job to go out and explain.
My children had no idea what happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if the day comes, I don't even know what I will say to them when I see them again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew nothing.
They knew nothing.
They trusted me more than the world does.
Mm-hmm. Did they trust that what you were doing was the right thing?
And only they can answer that.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel you're doing the right thing?
I would have liked to take them somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to answer to God.
No, you do, yeah. This is a tough thing. I mean, I don't know what would be worse as the parent, because here you are now, and your babies aren't with you.
They were easy pregnancies. I had 2 C-sections. Serena almost died.
Mm.
Sophia almost died the first month she was born. She had to fight for her life.
Mm.
They were strong little girls.
Mm.
And I raised them to be strong little girls.
Serena and Sophia were buried on October 9th, where they were eulogized by Father Michael Campione. He's the one who baptized them as well as married their parents in 2002. He said that they were beautiful angels with blonde hair and blue eyes. They were always dancing and smiling. The community flooded the apartment area with flowers, teddy bears, and candles to honor the girls. It served as a memorial for Serena and Sophia. ELAINE's trial began in September 2010. She pleaded not guilty, saying she wasn't criminally responsible. Her defense did not dispute the fact that she had murdered her children. In fact, they argued that she dealt with severe mental illness and cited ELAINE's past, that she had been admitted to a psychiatric hospital twice, had tried to take her own life, and that she was delusional. However, the prosecution came in hard. saying that she knew exactly what she was doing at the time, despite her mental issues. They said that she had planned the murders, that she did it because she wanted to prevent Leo from gaining custody of their children. The jury learned that she had actually asked her girls to join her in a bubble bath game, where they would submerge their heads in the water and form bubbles. As the girls' heads were submerged, instead of lifting their heads up, she actually held them in until they passed away. They drowned within seconds and had water in their lungs, as revealed by the autopsy. She was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder by the jury, who stated that at that particular time, she actually knew that drowning her children was wrong, but did it anyway. She was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. She is now taking anger management courses and is undergoing therapy. She is doing good so far, and she might actually get that parole. Now, should we blame this one on psychosis? Well, I've covered a story that made me go deep into explaining psychosis, but personally, I have conflicted feelings about this case. Please don't come at me for saying this, but I blame both parties here. I'm not in any way suggesting that she wasn't suffering from psychosis. What I'm saying is that a lot should have been done before the situation escalated. Firstly, after the first kid, maybe the red flags would have been enough to not add another kid, cause that, to be honest, I don't think solves anything. But that's just my thinking. Maybe in some cases it does, I don't see how though, but in this case, it did not. I think she should have walked away. You've got to love yourself enough to say enough is enough. It ain't easy, I know, but it's not impossible either. Especially once you realize that a person who loves you would never hurt you physically, emotionally, or in any way. Couples have fights for sure, but letting it get physical, now that's like crossing a line. If she had walked away maybe with Serena, or even way before that, cause things started falling apart like way earlier into the relationship, then she or they might have been happy, maybe find someone else who would have loved her. Secondly, why would she think that she wasn't gonna win the custody battle? I mean, everyone was saying she had changed greatly, and it wasn't as if Leo was any better considering their history. I tend to think that moms always have higher chances when it comes to such issues, and even though Leo's family had money, I think the law always puts the kids first, hopefully. She should have just waited, and even if she was gonna lose, that would have never changed the fact that she was their mom. In one way or the other, they would have found a way to make it work. I'm honestly just seeing scenarios that don't involve the kids' lives being cut short. She should have also concentrated on healing first, then ask for the kids. Now, Leo pushed her to some very serious mental issues, and I am not in any way defending him, but she also did the unthinkable. She was the mom, and she should have explored all her options. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one.